Is it possible to build a strong EB1A profile with just 3 criteria claimed? It is, and the reason for this is because EB1A is not about the criteria, it is about final merits as well. And in this video, we'll be covering why final merits is commonly overlooked and why you should be focusing more on final merits instead of just meeting as many criteria as possible. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason and I work with several top immigration lawyers, which is where my EB1A profile building insights come from. I also run a paid newsletter for $12 per month, through which you can get access to my newsletter resources, which includes a profile building opportunities database that lists over 400 opportunities categorized by field and criteria. You will also get access to my private group where members have been able to find co-authors for papers, have been able to find collaborators in general for profile building, and have also been able to find opportunities shared by other members. If you're interested in these resources, check out the link in the comments. But going back to the video, why is final merits commonly overlooked? I think it's because people don't really understand what final merits actually means. Final merits is going to be the core of your EB1A profile. It's where the officer checks to see if you have actually presented a compelling argument for how you've risen to the top of your field. You can meet quite a few criteria and still get denied on final merits because things don't add up, because everything you've done doesn't really show in totality that you have risen to the top of your field. So that is why final merits, at least I think, is commonly overlooked. So why is it then that if you can meet so many criteria, why is it that you can get denied on final merits? It's because what EB1A is about showing that you're risen to the top of your field. It's about showing that you're in the top 1 to 5% in your field and you can meet criteria without actually meeting that bar. So you can have a couple of awards, you can have a couple of papers, you can have some judging opportunities here and there, but everything could be really low quality or very generic, and that is why you can get accepted on the basis of the criteria and not get approved for EB1A. So that is why I think there's this overfocus on the criteria. It is because people don't really understand what final merits means, but final merits is actually what can really strengthen your profile. If you actually build out the final merits of your profile, you are presenting a compelling argument for how you've risen to the top of your field, which is the entire basis for EB1A. EB1A is not about whether you meet 3 criteria or not. It is about whether you have shown that you've risen to the top of your field and whether you presented enough evidence that substantiates the argument you have presented. And that is what you need to understand when profile building for EB1A. That you shouldn't just be doing random activities that don't really have to do with whether you've risen to the top of your field. Sure, you can do some activities that meet the plain language of the criteria, but you will also need to present evidence that substantiates your claim that you've risen to the top of your field. And that is not just about internal recognition within your company. There is an external recognition piece, and this is something I talk to lawyers about all the time. A lot of people who are applying for EB1A do not realize that it's about external recognition as well. Because if you claim to be a top professional in your field and you have absolutely no recognition in your field whatsoever, besides from people at your company, then how can you really claim that you're a top professional in your field? That is just a really difficult argument to make. So when you are profile building for EB1A, focus on how you've risen to the top of your field, not on the criteria. You can try to meet at least 3 criteria. That's definitely something you want to look into. But besides that, it is going to be about how you've risen to the top of your field.